Tulsa will actually play football. It'll be just the 5th game this season for the Golden Hurricane. They'll take on 19th-ranked SMU, part of the American Conference on ESPN. The top 2 teams in the American will play in the conference championship at the end of the season. No divisions this year, and Tulsa and SMU both very much in the mix here in mid-November. And Anish Shroff alongside Tom Luganbill. Ian Fitzsimmons will join us in just a moment. There was a headline this week in the Tulsa World that Tulsa is expected to play this Saturday. Yeah. That's news. They haven't played a whole lot, but they still have an awful lot to play for. And their calling card, if you haven't seen them, is one of the best defenses in the group of 5.
There's no question about it, and it's headlined by the best defensive football player you probably don't know, and that's linebacker edge rusher Zaven Collins. It's 6'4", 260 pounds. I think Zaven Collins is going to work himself into the first round of the NFL draft. To your point, Anish, if they can keep playing games, Tulsa's got to stay on the field. But this is one of the most impactful defensive football players and maybe the most versatile linebacker in terms of what he means to the Tulsa defense and what he's asked to do.
Yeah, navigating that Tulsa D, it's like getting through a labyrinth, and then you got a 6'4", 260-pound Minotaur waiting for you at the end. On the flip side, SMU, their only loss was to Cincinnati. Since then, they've flipped a switch. What jumps out to you? What's different?
They're catching the football. I think that's the most important thing about this offense. It's not the quarterback. Shane Buechele has been lights out. It's not the fact that they've been unable to run the football. They've ran the football steadily. 8 drops against Cincinnati. They bounced back immediately. Kylan Granson, Page, the whole crew came together and started making plays for their quarterback.
Tyler Page has emerged as an unsung hero for this offense. With more on him, here's Ian Fitzsimmons.
And he's talking to Shane Buechele, quarterback at SMU, about Page. He said it's simple. He's getting more reps. He's been behind guys like James Prochet, who's now with the Baltimore Ravens, and the more reps, there's more chemistry. I know he's going to be at the right spot at the right time. He's trustworthy and dependable. It's on me to make sure I get him the ball because I know he's going to be in the right spot. Now, when it comes to that secondary for Tulsa, they're big boys, man. And I asked him, hey, the deep ball, how important is it for you guys to be able to hit it tonight? And he said, look, we're going to have to play our game. They drop 8 a ton. We know they're big. We know they're fast, but we're just going to have to take what the defense gives us, no matter how big they are.
For Tulsa fans, that is a sight for sore eyes. Seeing the Golden Hurricane take the field. Only 4 games played this season. We'll watch the wind tonight. Southwest wind of about 8 miles per hour. SMU won the toss, and they received to begin things, and will begin at the 25-yard line, led by Shane Buechele, driving into this wind. That hasn't affected him much this season, leading the nation in passing yards. A Texas transfer who has flourished in his second act at SMU. He's going to be long remembered for what he's done resuscitating this program.
There's no question. He's the Pied Piper of the program. He's the face of the program. And he's going to be looked at as a guy that brought it back to prominence because there's a foundation there. They're not going the other way any longer behind Shane Buechele. From going forward, this is going to be a prolific football program.
On first down, the AAC's leading rusher, Ulysses Bentley, across the 40-yard line, out of bounds after a gain of 21. He's 5th nationally in rushing yards, and he is capable of making a house call every time he touches it.
Well, he's just so explosive. You saw him there get to the edge and turn the corner, and then it becomes a foot race. So some production early on the ground. This is an offense that needs to be patient against Tulsa defensively.
Out of the backfield, Bentley, and that's what Tulsa does so well. Christian Williams with the tackle in space.
Well, Christian Williams, they're in this 3-3-5 defense. 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, but Christian Williams is the guy that walks up and can kind of be that star hybrid linebacker. He's all over the field, runs the run fits, and makes a lot of tackles to this defense.
But not out for the first series, and there's a strike to Rashee Rice. Another first down. A year ago when these two teams played, Rice seemingly came out of nowhere for an injured Reggie Robertson and had some huge plays down the stretch.
Well, you know, it's kind of been every week somebody new. Tyler Page, Kylan Granson. Now you see Rashee Rice get off to a fast start here in the first quarter. And Anish, I love that throw right there because one of the things about this Tulsa defense is they're very active, they're very disruptive, but they're also very cautious about not giving up the deep ball. SMU, conversely, they want to stretch the field. They want to take shots. So it's not necessarily in their DNA to just dink and dunk and take what the defense gives them. So far, Shane Buechele doing a nice job of playing pitch and catch. See those defenders for Tulsa lining up in the box right there, and you've got to figure out which three are coming.
Dropped by Rice, it sets up 3rd and long, and this plays right into Tulsa's hands.
It really does, and now you sit there and you say, okay, 3rd and long, what does Tulsa not allow? They don't allow the intermediate and the vertical throw. So if I'm Tulsa defensively, I'm going to sugar up 6 or 7 into the gaps, try and get SMU to have to commit to who is going to actually rush the passer, and then you're going to see the blue jerseys disperse and keep the ball right in front of them.
And you got to know where 23 Zaven Collins is if you're SMU. He's in coverage. Buechele on the check down to the speedy Gray, and he is devoured by Justin Wright, the middle linebacker. 4th down.
And Tulsa will take that all day long. That's what they want SMU to do, because the more patient you force an offense to be, it's tough to go on a 10, 11, 12, 13 play drive. Eventually you're going to make a mistake, but don't give up the explosive play. There's Joseph Gillespie, the defensive coordinator, liking what he's seeing from his defense here in the first opening stanza.
Keelan Stokes back deep to return the punt by Nagar. And this one bounces and is down inside the 5. Tulsa led by quarterback Zach Smith. Can he find a rhythm quickly? That's the key tonight.
That's the whole key. He's a Jekyll and Hyde guy. For some reason, Zach Smith can't get into rhythm in early portions of games. This is him against Oklahoma State early. This is an easy 5-yard hitch. What does he do? Throws it right into the dirt. Then you get another opportunity vertically to throw the football. He's got a guy running wide open, misses him by 5 yards. And then all of a sudden, a switch flips with this guy. And it generally occurs within the last 2 to 3 minutes of the second quarter. And then the second half, they come out guns a-blazing, and they are an entirely different offense.
Smith will throw underneath. That gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Catch made by Juan Carlos Santana, tackled by Chevin Callaway.
You know, Anisha, I asked Philip Montgomery, who also serves as the play caller, why has this offense been so streaky? Why has Zach Smith been so out of rhythm? He goes, I just think we never get in any sense of a cycle or a schedule where we feel like things are normal.
TK Wilkerson for a short gain. It sets up 3rd down. Montgomery told us the only constant this year has been change. There has been no rhythm, no continuity to the season, and it's a minor miracle. They're 3-0 in conference. They still have everything to play for. You win this game, you still have Cincinnati, but a win here tonight, and Tulsa's in good shape in terms of playing for a conference championship.
I'm going to check at the line here. 3rd and 5, you're backed up. This is a critical conversion down. And again, in the first half of games, this is where Zach Smith has struggled for some reason. The accuracy hasn't been there. Let's see if he can get on point here on his first 3rd down opportunity.
Smith pressured. Intercepted. Crossley. Pick 6.
Well. Well, this is really, really unfortunate, and it kind of plays right into really the cycle that we've seen from Tulsa. He throws off balance late, tries to dump down, throws a high throw to a check down, and that's not winning football. And Zach Smith knows it. He's too talented to do those types of things, but here's the good news if you're a Tulsa fan. This is routine, okay? So just get through the first half. Let's see what happens in the back half.
This is how they've drawn it up.
Yes.
In their 4 games that they've played, they've gotten down against UCF and ECU, then they've come back. And for Crossley, 4th interception of the season. PAT by Nagar is good. The Colorado State transfer has been a ball hawk in this SMU secondary. Smith overshoots Corey Taylor right into the embrace of Brandon Crossley. Philip Montgomery told us so much about this offense's timing and speed, and the interruptions have really impacted the quarterback.
Yeah, you see the turnovers here, and of course you're backed up on 3rd down. And watch Zach Smith here. He's going to his right, doesn't like what he sees, steps up, protects the ball. He just needed some nuance to that throw. He just needed to take a little bit off of it. But if you're a Tulsa fan, keep this in mind. For whatever reason, Zach Smith has routinely done this in the first and second quarter of games all year long. But he has this ability to flip a switch. And generally, you're going to see one big explosive play in the passing game that all of a sudden lights the fuse, and they're an entirely different offense. You want Zach Smith to manage his emotions, and take a look at these numbers just to help illustrate what we're getting at, because it's really staggering. It almost makes you scratch your head and say, how is that even possible?
How is that the same guy?
How is it the same guy? And again, his ability to work himself out of a funk has been very, very impressive, but SMU's good enough on offense to put them in a real hole.
TK Wilkerson, he's the big bruising back and picks up about 3. Now this is a Tulsa offense that lost its top rusher from last year, Shamari Brooks. Tore his ACL before the season opener, so it's been Wilkerson, it's been Deneric Prince, and you'll see Corey Taylor as well out there.
And it's interesting, Tulsa, an air raid tree type of offense, that's the foundation, but without the tempo. They're going to take their time running this offense.
Smith lost it again. The first quarter jitters are back. SMU picks it up, and the Mustangs have a short field again.
That's not helping your QBR, Zach. They're going to try and,
Really on the field.
take on the RPO.
Recovered by SMU. First down.
The quick run pass option. And this was just a little token fake. No intention of giving it. Just a token fake. Boom, he's going to pop up. And his back, Wilkerson actually hits him. And it might have helped jar the ball loose. Let's see right here. That ball just slips out of his right hand, but then you've got to secure the ball, young man. And SMU with 2 absolute gifts in the first 5 minutes. You couldn't ask for a better start for the Mustangs.
SMU takes over inside the red zone. First down after the penalty. There's Bentley. There's the shake. And brought down by the ankles. Tyneal Martin, who's back from injury, with the stop. You talk about size in the secondary. He's another one, about 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, big physical kid. And that was a great open field tackle on a guy that's very difficult to tackle. Look at these heights on the back end for Tulsa. Now, why is that important? Because length covers a lot of ground. You can close throwing windows, and it's difficult to win 50-50 balls versus tall corners.
Tyler Levine, the running back, on 2nd and 6. Buechele, incomplete for Page, well covered by Martin, and you see how difficult it is to get plays downfield, especially now that you're in tight quarters against this Tulsa defense.
Yeah, now you're condensed, Anish, so there's not as much real estate to have to defend, so the defense, to some degree, has a bit of an advantage, especially when you're going to rush 3. Again, take a look at this group up front. This is Joseph Gillespie, the defensive coordinator for Tulsa, has done a wonderful job.
Empty set, 3rd and 11. Buechele to the air. Now he steps up. Steps, throws, touchdown, Kylan Granson.
This was a concern for Tulsa because Shane Buechele doesn't always get the credit he's due for his athleticism. Look at him see the field. Now he's going to step up, take the front door, but instead of running, he keeps his eyes downfield. That's experience, that's poise, and then he throws Granson open. Granson coming off of a monster week a week ago in a win versus Temple, in which this SMU offense scored 4 touchdowns in a 7-minute span, so they can get hot real quickly.
Last week, a career-high 149 receiving yards for Granson. Had that terrible game against Cincinnati with all the drops. He's played like an all-conference tight end since. Off the turnover, Buechele on 3rd and 11 to Granson. Mustangs up 2 scores early. Philip Montgomery, Tulsa's head coach, told us the other day it's taken a while for him and his team to get into the flow of games. They've only played 4 games. The Oklahoma State game was postponed, moved back a week. Arkansas State Navy, we don't know. Cincinnati, we were supposed to do that game. Yeah. We were supposed to do the Arkansas State game too. Moved to December 4th against Cincinnati. And, it's not a bye week.
No, it's not. And people want to say, oh, we'll just treat it like a bye week. No. Bye weeks are very specifically scheduled out for care of your body, for practice, for repetitions, for days off. When you're preparing for an opponent and all of a sudden on Thursday or Friday they tell you can't play, that's not a bye week.
Yeah, Philip Montgomery told us that was emotionally draining. Prince again. He's more of a speed back, but showed some power there.
One of the things that Tulsa's doing with their formations is they're really spreading the field horizontally. Look how wide these two guys are.
What's
So now
the goal?
The goal is to get the box thin so you can run it.
Juan Carlos Santana and SMU again trying to get its personnel on. Another flag is down.
Yeah, if we can get a look at this, you're going to see.
Illegal substitution. SMU. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
And it was smart for Tulsa to snap the ball and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, while a lot of white jerseys were both running on and running off the field. So right now, SMU struggling with a little bit of tempo. So you see these wide splits up to the top of your screen. There's a few guys in the box. That's a good heavy run formation. They RPO it.
Stokes again. Stretching forward, he's to the 30-yard line. Tackled by Donald Clay.
Brought down by 21, Donald Clay.
Another screen pass. Crawford.
You know, one distinct difference, and I think this has helped Tulsa. First two series, no tempo. This series, everything is sped up, and it's helping Zach Smith.
Going quickly once more. And this is Prince inside the 20 where he stood up. Tulsa in the red zone this season, 11 out of 12, 7 touchdowns. Why only 12 trips? Well, they've only played 4 games.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, think about it. You're coming into this matchup against a team that's played 8 football games, all right? Hasn't had any layoffs. They've been able to play consecutive weeks. That can be an advantage for Tulsa. You know why? Because there's not as much of a sample size of them on film for SMU to study.
High snap. And third down coming up after the run by Wilkerson.
And off goes number 21, T.K. Wilkerson.
I know it's very early in the game, but you get the sense with a swirling wind.
Yep.
Yeah, 3rd and 5 down here. Field goals are not going to be a sure thing tonight.
Look at SMU having trouble once again getting their people on and off the field. And this time, there's really no tempo to the offense. The officials holding them that time.
SMU drops 8. Smith too high. Intended for Crawford, 4th down.
Really nice job. You're going to rush 3, drop 8, take away the field, force Zach Smith to throw into very, very tight windows with not a lot of grass to cover on the back end. Really nice stand by SMU defensively, and not a really good job of Tulsa offensively.
And now Zach Long on for the field goal. His first career field goal attempt came against SMU in triple overtime last year. He missed. One of 3 missed field goals by Tulsa in that game, and SMU won it on the next play. Buechele to James Prochet. And this kick is no good from 34. His first miss of the season, and Philip Montgomery's got to be thinking, my kingdom for a kicker. Last year they were a kicking game away from going to a bowl game, and now Long fails to put 3 on the board after a 14-play drive.
Sonny Dykes loves it from the SMU sideline, and it's been windy throughout the afternoon and leading into the evening of this game.
SMU will begin at the 20-yard line. Bentley in the backfield. Buechele to the air. Has an open Danny Gray, another penalty marker down.
Illegal hands in the face. Number 90, the defense. 15 yards on the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jackson Player.
Yeah, Jackson Player.
5 technique in their 3-man front. He's going to be a guy that routinely lines head up over the tackle, so you see where the hands to the face comes in a pass rush situation.
New running back is Levine. He gets the call on first down, and he gives you a little bit more thunder in the backfield. That was supposed to be T.J. McDaniel, but he suffered a season-ending injury against Memphis.
Levine gives you that, push the pile element to the offense. And also it gives you an opportunity to spell Ulysses Bentley. He's only 5'10", 184 pounds. He's a spark plug, but I don't think you want him running downhill between the tackles 30 times a night.
Levine again going downhill, and a first down run for Tyler Levine, give him 9. And one of the things SMU has done well since the Cincinnati game is run the football. We talked to Sonny Dykes before the Navy game, and he said, we've got to do a better job of committing to the ground game.
Yeah, and early. And I think you've seen it in this game. They like the run on the early downs. I mean, if you're getting 2nd and 4, 3rd and 1 routinely, which they are, that's exactly what the recipe needs to be.
Play selection, even 8 runs, 8 passes. Bentley speeding all the way inside the 10-yard line.
You kind of see the difference in styles. Levine, as you mentioned, he's going to go forward, but this guy's going to make you miss in a phone booth, and then he's got that second gear to turn the corner. I'm really surprised, to be honest with you, SMU is having this much success running against what has been a vaunted defense for Tulsa to this point.
Ulysses Bentley has been strong the last couple of games, had a huge game against Navy. First 3 conference games, he was bottled up. 1st and goal now. Bentley reaching forward, and he's going to be just shy.
Bentley on the carry. 2nd down, number 4, Robert Rebels the 3rd. 2nd down and goal.
We have played 1 quarter. Tulsa, I guess you can say it's usual slow start, but SMU has made them pay. First, Crossley, the pick 6. Then Buechele to Granson. And the Mustangs knocking at the door when quarter 2 begins. SMU with a 14-0 lead, looking for more. 2nd and goal from the Tulsa 1. Now the Golden Hurricane have been in this spot a couple of times, rallied from 18 down against UCF, rallied from 14 down against ECU. The reality, SMU's better than both of those teams.
There's no question. And if I'm SMU, I am running the football. Heavy run set here.
They run it. It's Bentley, and he coasts in for a touchdown.
What an impressive drive by the Mustangs. Run, pass, balance, execution. I mean, Tulsa's got to have some type of contested body in the hole. That's a walk-in. And Tulsa is looking for answers.
11th rushing touchdown of the season for Ulysses Bentley. That is a new freshman record at SMU. And there's been some pretty good running backs to come through Dallas.
Yeah, quite a few.
Well, I have no issue with coaches or teams running up the score, because getting some of your backup guys and your depth pieces valuable reps in this climate when you never know who you're going to have from a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, there's a lot of value in that.
I didn't have an issue with it, and on top of it, you know what? It's your job to play defense. It's your job to make plays. It's your job to step up and be a competitive opponent. I like that opening snap right there. If you watch Zach Smith for Tulsa as they get going offensively here, got some tempo going.
They've been pretty good with tempo when they've used it. Prince, patient run after the first down catch by Crawford.
They need to take that shot, Anish, and we've seen them when they start to get hot. The fuse is usually lit when they get a 25, 30, 35-yard pass that gets them going.
Toward the sideline, Crawford again made the catch in front of Stevens. 3rd catch by Sam Crawford. Now into SMU territory. Trips to the field. Little wildcat. Keelan Stokes. tumbles ahead to the 46-yard line.
See, it's little substitutions like that, little wrinkles like that that have caused problems for SMU on defense with their substitution. Trying to figure out, all right, who's lining up at quarterback? Are they going Wildcat? Do we now have Zach Smith back at quarterback? Okay, yes, we do. What does that put us in? All while Tulsa's going tempo.
Prince broke the first tackle and then tripped up by Clay, shy of the marker, 3rd and short.
Thank goodness for Donald Clay right there. He doesn't make that tackle. Prince is off to the races. You might have a foot race down the sideline. An impressive offensive series being put together so far here for Tulsa.
It's running back by committee for Tulsa, but if somebody gets hot, they will ride that back.
So far, it's been Prince. We got Wilkerson 21 in the backfield right now.
He's their short yardage guy. Smith will throw on the slant. Stokes. And Tulsa keeps the drive alive.
Little RPO game right there. Nice read by Zach Smith, pulling the ball and pulling the trigger on the slant route. So difficult to defend.
Wilkerson into the teeth of that Mustang defense for a pickup of 2.
You know, the RPO game, the run-pass option game, and people may say, well, what's so difficult about it? What's the big deal? Well, you're essentially taking a defensive player and you're isolating them, and no matter what they do, they can't be right. You're putting them in a conflict of assignment. If they decide to go with the run fake, you pull it, now they're in the wrong position. If they don't go with the run fake and they sit, you hand it off, and now you got light bodies in the box to defend the run. You can't be right.
Juan Carlos Santana stretches ahead for a first down. And another scoring chance here for Tulsa now in the red zone.
You know what's interesting? All we're seeing is completions from Zach Smith. Dink, dunk, accurate throws, ball out of his hand quickly, a little bit of balance with some run game on early downs. They look like a well-oiled machine right now. Oh, and by the way, we're in the middle of the second quarter.
Middle of the second quarter. That's when it usually happens. Smith moving the pocket. Denbo coming on the blitz. He's got Johnson. Touchdown, Tulsa.
I'm not kidding. I'm over here laughing. I'm looking at you and I am chuckling, raising my hands up.
We were supposed to have a couple of Tulsa games earlier this year, so we've watched a lot of film on these guys.
Yeah.
And I go back to a text that you sent me during one of your film sessions. You said, I can't tell who Zach Smith really is. Sometimes you're wondering, what's he doing? He's head scratching and making just terrible decisions. And at other times, your words, he looks like Joe Montana.
He does. And right around this time is when they start to hit the mark. Tulsa getting hot as the second quarter winds down. We might have ourselves a ball game here in Oklahoma.
Tulsa landed its first big punch against SMU. Zach Smith on the last drive, 5 for 5. We joked about it earlier. He's like a pitcher if he can just get through the first couple of innings, and if you don't have to go to the bullpen, he's going to pitch deep into the ball game and pitch well. Struggled early. What are we seeing now?
Well, somebody, first of all, needs to tell him that the start of games is now 8 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Right.
That's when games start for Zach Smith. And listen, you can kind of see the confidence in his body language, and that's been something that's carried over into the second half.
Here's Crossley with a nice return. He had a pick six earlier. Ulysses Bentley on first down and swarmed by that Golden Hurricane defense, and the momentum has swung, and it started to swing with Tulsa's defense on SMU's last drive.
There's no question, and Zaven Collins, 23, really came alive. 2 tackles in that drive, plus the sack. We're able to get off the field without giving up any points. So very impressive now. They're feeding off of that offensive drive.
On the RPO, here's Collins. And Buechele throws it away. The Tulsa sideline wants grounding. And here comes the flag. No receiver in the area.
Oh, boy.
Zaven Collins again creating the havoc.
Well, Zaven Collins, you're going to see him down at the bottom right here, and he's kind of spying, and now he goes. He triggers, is able to secure Shane Buechele, and there's just nobody there.
3rd and 15 now. SMU needs its own 45. Oh, Bentley dangerous here on the screen as well. They'll just run it to Bentley. And he is gobbled up by big number 90 Jackson player. Chris Nagar will punt it away, and here comes Tulsa. Comeback kids, having it again.
Chris Nagar's last punt went 18 yards.
Yeah.
So if you're Tulsa, you got to like this field position opportunity to get what's been a hot offense for the last 5 minutes back on the field.
Here comes Tulsa. Nagar gets it off. There is a flag down. Nagar was hit. And the punt's going to roll and die inside the 20-yard line. Good punt. And now was this roughing the kicker or running into the kicker?
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Tulsa, 15 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
Running into the kicker is only a 5-yard penalty. Roughing the automatic first down, and again, that's just a terrible penalty there. That's Powers. We had an instance earlier where Tulsa jumped off sides when SMU went for it on 4th and 3. You don't want to give this offense extra chances.
No, and consider, too, the clock management that's involved. If Tulsa takes over the ball there and sustains a drive in the same manner in which they did on the previous successful drive, you got this clock under 2 minutes, and SMU, they would have to be crawling back in to stay ahead.
Out of the backfield, Levine for a nice gain. Give him 8. And to your point, Lugs, if you're Tulsa, you get the ball, you go down and score. Going to halftime down 7, and then you get the ball, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, these things just kill you with these mental penalties.
Levine on 2nd and 2. Forages for the extra yards and a first down for SMU. Tyler Levine, a former walk-on, put on scholarship in January. Hayden Howerton slides from guard to center. Justin Osborne stays at right guard, and Alana Lee, the center, moves to right tackle. Danny Gray in the flat, first down and more. He can fly, takes a big pop. And SMU getting close again inside the 25 with this new offensive line configuration.
Watch Shane Buechele snap his head around and get the ball out. He gets popped and does a rim. He knows he's going to have to free rusher coming off the edge and is still able to get the ball out. One of the few big plays that Tulsa's given up on defense today.
SMU has withstood injuries to its starting running back, TJ McDaniel, its top receiver, Reggie Robertson. Their backup quarterback, though, Terrence Gibson, entered the transfer portal after Navy. Buechele is the one guy they cannot lose.
No question about it.
Levine stopped in his tracks. Christian Williams led the charge. Not having your 2 tackles now. How does that play into the hands of Tulsa's defense? What does SMU do now?
Well, we've already seen them take advantage of the redshirt freshman on the left side in Marcus Bryant. Zaven Collins has had his way. Goodlow's had his way. So I think what you're going to do is continue to see Tulsa move their guys along the front to find that weak spot and see who they can isolate.
Buechele wants Gray. Incomplete, broken up by Davis. That's Nixon, rather. No, it was Tyon Davis.
Yeah.
Tyon Davis broke it up.
And again, the length and the size of these Tulsa defenders. You know, you see them, they're in position. A little bit of an arm bar with the left arm there by Tyon Davis, but I really like the matchup favoring Tulsa downfield.
Four-man pressure, Bentley to the outside, and ambushed in the backfield by Trayvon Reeves.
Trayvon Reeves ends up making this tackle, but Zaven Collins forces the play from the opposite side of the field.
Second charge, timeout and a half. Tulsa. 30 seconds.
To bounce to the perimeter, and he almost took down Bentley with a leg swipe, but man, is he an impressive player tackle to tackle.
Nagar on from a 45-yard field goal attempt. He is with the wind. And this one between the uprights. SMU tacks on 3 more. SMU with a 17-point lead. Tulsa's rallied from 18 and 14 down this season. Could we see another comeback in the second half? First to the studio, and Kevin Connors. Anish Shroff, Tom Luganbill, Ian Fitzsimmons down on the sideline. SMU with a 17-point lead at the half against Tulsa. Tulsa playing just its 5th game, and this one has followed a familiar script. Best of times, worst of times, but just flip the order.
Yes, it's been the mode of operation for Zach Smith and this Tulsa offense all year long. Slow starts, miscues, self-inflicted wounds. You see the pick 6. You see the high throw in the back of the end zone. Just not on target, missing guys. Some guys are open. Some guys might need to make a play. And then all of a sudden, the middle of the second quarter rolls around. He starts throwing darts, goes right down the field. Got a nice little play selection, got the RPO on the slant underneath. Then they move the pocket here. This sets up the touchdown, the only touchdown in the second quarter. But this is what this offense does. Keep in mind, against East Carolina, down 17-3, 134-30. Down against UCF, 23-12, 134-26.
Will this movie end the same way or perhaps a little different? Ian, you caught up with Philip Montgomery. What did he tell you?
Basic message to his halftime was simple, man. He said, look, we spotted these guys 10 points. Just go play, execute, stop thinking so much. Just go play ball, use your instincts. As far as the weather here, guys, Tulsa will now have the wind in their face. It is switched, and it is now swirling big time. Zach Smith will be throwing into the wind, Anish.
Yeah, that's big, especially in the latter half of this game. Should it get close, wind will be a factor. Both these teams, they have upgraded at kicker. They still don't trust their kickers like many teams would.
Well, it can also be a factor in the throw game. A strong arm can cut through it, but can also affect accuracy.
TK Wilkerson with a nice run across the 35-yard line. About 13 yards and a first down.
Nice start, set a message with the offensive line. Good tone in the run game, big gainer. Look at that stat line at the bottom, though. Ooh, 1.2 yards a carry.
Wilkerson again, and he is dropped in the backfield by Denbo. TK Wilkerson last month became a father. He had the bulk of the carries against UCF and had a huge hand in that comeback win.
Really shoulder to shoulder there.
And in that case, the quarterback is not a defenseless player. He is a runner, and he's not going into his slide. And there's a big difference. If he's going into the slide, that could very easily have been targeted.
No question. It's viewed entirely differently.
The Mustangs call a timeout on 2nd and 21. A big distinction here. In most cases, a quarterback is a defenseless player. Not in that case.
Ooh.
So he's not a defenseless player. McBride does not lead with the helmet. He comes in with the shoulder.
No question. And he actually, his initial contact is to the shoulder. The contact and the momentum is as a result of the power of the blow from McBride.
And what SMU is calling a timeout, SMU's calling a timeout to challenge the recovery of the fumble. You saw Mike Williams emerge with the ball from the pile. Possession was awarded to Tulsa. So if you have a defenseless player, which Smith in that case was not, it's crown of the helmet.
Correct. And listen, off of what we've shown, the replays we've seen, shoulder to shoulder, leading with the shoulder, the quarterback not being a defenseless player, there's nothing that would qualify that for targeting.
Yeah. They are looking at, again, the fumble. And they will say it is Tulsa ball.
A little bit surprised they looked at that. That was a pretty clear-cut recovery of the football by number 73.
Well, SMU called the timeout, so that was a challenge coming from SMU. Yeah. Second and 21, little helter-skelter start to this third quarter. But again, to go back, if you're wondering, hey, why wasn't that targeting? It boils down to, wasn't an attack with the crown of the helmet, and Smith, the most important part here, was not defenseless.
Correct.
On second and 21, on the delay, Deneric Prince gets some of it back. It'll bring up third down.
Now there's delayed handoffs, and then there's a delayed handoff. That was a really well-executed run by Tulsa there.
It just seems, again, so much of Tulsa's momentum here has been stunted.
Yes.
To begin this third quarter, you have the hit on the quarterback, the penalty.
The penalties really killed them because you're going on a nice little run, particularly with your run game. You're in control. You're in short down and distance.
Third and 11. Here's the blitz. And a first down catch toward the sideline. Josh Johnson, the former Iowa State Cyclone.
Zach Smith throws a dart to the sideline right here again. On time, good anticipation, has the arm strength to drive the ball outward.
Keelan Stokes, his fourth catch. Smith has the arm strength. That came from calf roping as a youngster on a 3,000-acre ranch.
Throwing the lasso?
I would imagine that's got to beef up your forearms. Here's
Absolutely.
Prince. Has an opening inside the 25, all the way into the red zone. Stevens made the tackle, and Tulsa set up. Three receivers to the boundary. Prince ran into a roadblock, second and goal.
You know, early on we saw SMU on offense, and Shane Buechele, they had him pull the ball and run it when he's not normally the runner. That's a great opportunity down here as we see SMU changing personnel. 5 guys, really.
It's like a hockey line change.
It is.
Second and goal now. Wilkerson, the bigger back, in there for Tulsa. We have not seen much of Corey Taylor tonight. Wilkerson trying to go to the outside, breaks a tackle, and bumped out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 1, third and goal.
Extend that ball over the line, buddy. Get to the corner right here. Dive for it.
This will be the 12th play of the drive.
And they've got 2 plays in the hopper right here. There's no doubt in my mind Philip Montgomery didn't come down here to kick a field goal. You get the ball coming out of half, go.
Got 2 big D linemen blocking. Wilkerson, second effort. I don't think he got in. It's going to be 4th down.
That's twice we saw in back-to-back plays Wilkerson not extending the ball over the plane of the goal line or hitting the pylon on the previous play.
Now they brought in Jackson, player number 90, and Tyrus Big Cat Stevenson, 97, to clear out some bodies. Wilkerson, he stopped! SMU with a goal line stand. Delano Robinson, the leading tackler in the conference, making the play.
Well, if you're going to line up in that type of formation with that personnel grouping, guess where all the white jerseys are going to be? You have an entire stacked box right here, and nobody is capable of blocking to the second level because you're having to handle the SMU defensive front at the point of attack, so the linebackers go unblocked. That's a numbers disadvantage for Tulsa in the run game when you've got half a yard to go.
So they telegraphed it.
I think so. I think they should have gotten to the perimeter, giving themselves more options.
SMU backed up. They'll throw out of the end zone, incomplete. Got to be careful, especially with some of the penalty issues tonight. You get a holding call in the end zone. That's 2 points for Tulsa.
No question. And keep in mind, SMU's got a touchdown on defense. Aside from the early 6 to 8 minutes of the first quarter, this defense has played good enough to give their offense a chance. The offense has let them down on that drive. Let's see if this Tulsa defense steps up, gets this ball back, and works field position.
Buechele on the keeper, still going, and Shane Buechele with a first down and more, but this could be coming back.
12.
So they get Allie Green. Had nothing to do with the play.
Allie Green. That's not football, man. That's not winning football. I love the physicality. I love, trying to get off the block at the point of attack. Now you're jawing afterwards. You already know you're committing a foul while you're committing it.
That's one of the best corners in the conference. And now SMU all the way at the 33-yard line. Tyler Levine up the gut. Pushed back by Williams.
That just takes the air out of your sail. I mean, you've got SMU backed up, and you commit a penalty that is nowhere near the football play. And what, to show you're a tough guy? Come on. You're a senior. You're better than that.
On 2nd and 10. Buechele hit. Has Rashee Rice. They haven't hit a lot of big plays through the air tonight, but that's a big one.
Boy, Shane Buechele gets hammered right here. But what a terrific throw on the back shoulder, down the seam, and the trajectory of that ball was why it was completed. Just high enough to get over linebacker level, but just enough zip to get it on the back shoulder.
SMU going with the wind. Screen pass, Rice goes back to catch it. It's a good thing he did.
Pass complete to number 5, Brian Nixon. Number 23, Zayvon Collins. End of a yard on the play, 2nd down.
Buechele flashing that trademark toughness. He's been so good at SMU. If he throws for 300 yards tonight, he'll tie the school record in less than 2 seasons for most 300-yard passing games. Not much running room. 3rd and long now.
Handoff goes to number 26, Bentley. Brought down by number 97, Tyler.
That is a wind meter. Ian Fitzsimmons, the hair's blowing.
Ian, where the heck did you get a wind meter?
Hey, let me tell you, well, I'm creative and resourceful, Lugs. It's gusting it up to 12 and down to 6, so get ready. Playing quarterback in this is going to be an adventure, boys.
Your quaff was
that goes
gusting to 12.
More Aquanet, Ian.
It's a mohawk.
Buechele going long. Incomplete. It looked like Gray gave up on the football.
Oh, Christian Williams, number 3, the center fielder. How does he misjudge this ball? Danny Gray's running down the field. Watch number 3. The safety's, he's beelining right to the spot. This should be.
That should have been an interception. You're right.
I do not understand that angle.
So
wow.
now a field goal attempt with the wind at his back.
See, that crosswind is what worries me. That hopefully this wouldn't cause him to hook this to the left.
This would be a career long from 51. No good. Almost as if he thought it would curve a little more.
He overcompensated. Tulsa back on offense when we come back.
Yeah.
Another opportunity for this Tulsa offense to get on the field, all right, and move the football and capitalize. 0 for 2 in the red zone tonight. SMU, 2 touchdowns and 3 trips.
First down, Keelan Stokes still going. Driven out by Clay in SMU territory.
See the poise.
First and 10, Tulsa from the SMU 35. And Anish Shroff, Tom Luganbill, Ian Fitzsimmons with you on this Saturday night. Eric Prince brought down at the line of scrimmage by number 40, Elijah Chapman, who defensive coordinator Kevin Kane calls one of the angriest people in the state of Texas, and he plays like it.
Well, not only did he play angry there, he played unblocked. The entire left side of the Tulsa offensive line completely whiffed on a rundown where you had a numbers advantage in the box. That should not have happened. There's 6 in the box now for SMU, so you can likely expect any type of play fake that would result in a play action pass.
Johnson lined up in the slot. They'll go to him. Brought down by Chevin Callaway. Good tackle in space. Another third down here for Zach Smith in this offense.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed about the skill for Tulsa is they catch balls well on the fly and take off. They do not make people miss well after the catch.
Tulsa 6 of 11 on third downs. Johnson motions on the ground. Prince. Chapman upset. It's a first down for Tulsa.
It's a good tackle. If he doesn't make it, Prince might be off to the races there. And what you're seeing from Tulsa now is you're seeing 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end. So they look like they could always be in a run set where they could possibly run. You're seeing them do the jet sweep motion, and now you got the backfield action. So something's going to come off of that in their play action pass game.
James Palmer is the tight end, trying to set the edge, but SMU able to get in the backfield again. And the quieter story tonight has been SMU's defense coming up with a lot of plays in the backfield.
And guess who? The linebacking core. The area that Philip Montgomery, the Tulsa head coach, offensive coordinator, was concerned about. He said, listen, it's the best part of their defense. They're difficult to block, and they make a lot of tackles.
First down catch, Juan Carlos Santana. And the Batman-loving junior moves the chains.
Big long throw from Zach Smith here, and again, throws a laser. I think Tulsa's got something with this personnel grouping in this formation where they're getting more one-on-ones on the outside because of the 11 personnel and the tight end in the backfield. It's forcing SMU to bring another body into the box. Look at the white jerseys here in the box for the Mustangs.
Yeah, they might have something with the slot receiver
up
top. They do.
Yep.
And it's Johnson. Just not enough bodies to cover.
And that's why it's called a numbers game. And all the quarterback's doing there is he's getting the line of scrimmage. He's going, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now he's trying to figure out what his perimeter looks like. And the numbers will tell him, more than likely pre-snap, where to go with the football.
Tight formation this time. Prince try to B-button off a defender. He'll get close. Third down. Is this once again 4-down territory for Philip Montgomery?
I think so, but it has to be a different approach. It was very clear that they could not block the second level of SMU's defense, so stop running downhill. I think they need to get sideline to sideline.
First down, first and goal. The ball comes out. SMU jumps on it. It seems that the ball is still secure. Right elbow is down. And then the ball starts to come out. I think Tulsa's going to get this ball back.
The runner's right forearm was down while in possession of the ball at the 1-yard line. It'll be first and goal from the 1 from Tulsa.
It's a really good call, and it's a tremendous lesson for Prince of the importance of ball security, understanding the area of the field that you're on. Philip Montgomery has got to find a way to get this offense into the end zone. And I know he wants to run it, but can he run it a little bit more creatively?
TK Wilkerson in at running back. He gets it. Wilkerson is stopped. This SMU defense flashing its metal down by the goal line again.
Just think it's more difficult on Tulsa with that many bodies in the box. They may be better off in more of a spread look, still getting your 11 personnel, similar to the formation of the personnel grouping they used to get down there. And maybe, just maybe, they're setting up the pop pass here.
Wilkerson makes his way in. And that's the punctuation on a 13-play drive. 67 yards. It eats up close to 5 minutes of clock.
See Wilkerson here.
If any part of the ball crosses.
And I was critical of Wilkerson on the previous drive for his lack of extending the ball to either get to the pylon or get over the goal line. He does just that. And
Cincinnati kicking into the wind. There's Crossley. Took an interception back for a touchdown and upended. Yikes, across the 35-yard line. Here is Bentley. SMU needs to find a way now to restart its offense. Remember, they scored early on a pick six. Here's your breakfast spot.
Oh, hey, have you had it? Have you had the breakfast Crunchwrap Supreme?
I can't say I have.
It's like a circus in your mouth.
2nd and 7. Bentley again, looking for running room. And somehow snakes his way across the 40, 3rd down. Back to the earlier point. SMU with a pick six, then a couple of touchdown drives. Since then, they were gifted 3 points because of a penalty when they got their field goal. Haven't seen a lot offensively from SMU.
Well, if Tulsa steps up here, not only has the winds changed, the momentum will have as well. So critical down. See the towel on Shane Buechele's waist. Look at it just blowing forward.
SMU needs its own 46.
You're going to have 3-man front, 5 across the middle, and a 3 deep behind it to limit any type of deep play.
Pressure coming. Bentley with the catch and nowhere to go. Ryan Nixon. That's the nephew of former All-Pro Willie McGinnis, and Nagar has to punt.
Well, that played right into the hands of Tulsa's philosophy on defense. We'll give you the check down, and then we're going to come up and tackle you. Tulsa, one of the better tackling teams on defense that you'll see in college football. Joe Gillespie, the defensive coordinator, has been very proud of that because it's such a difficult thing to do in today's college football climate.
Nagar sends this away. Stokes fielded it on a bounce.
Come on now, buddy.
And Tulsa has it at the 16-yard line. Dangerous play. Now, this game starting to mirror last year's, but in reverse. This is Smith on the zone read and dives ahead. A year ago, SMU trailed Tulsa by 21. That was going into the 4th quarter. The Mustangs rallied, tied it, won in triple overtime. Tulsa tonight was down 21-0, and they've been chipping away and chipping away.
And they've executed really well, and I had mentioned how important it is to pull the ball sometimes for Zach Smith like they did. That just keeps that SMU defense honest.
Tulsa will have the wind at its back when the 4th quarter begins. Remember last year, SMU and Tulsa over in Dallas? The Golden Hurricane built up a 30-9 lead through 3 quarters. Then came the comeback. SMU 3 unanswered touchdowns in the 4th. Xavier Jones ties it with 1 minute and 2 seconds left. 2nd overtime, Jones fumbles. Tulsa, a chance to win it. Missing a field goal. Overtime number 3. Shane Buechele to James Prochet, initially ruled incomplete. Replay review overturned the call, and SMU won a thriller coming back from 21 down, and a first down run by TK Wilkerson to begin the 4th quarter. This is the 27th meeting. The last 4 have been decided by 6 points or less. 2 years ago, in fact, Tulsa with a win denied SMU a shot at a bowl game. Smith, and that one is dropped by Santana.
Nice job navigating the pocket and buying a second passing chance right there by Zach Smith. Able to throw on the run, and Santana's looking to run prior to securing the football. And you look in the second half, Tulsa's now outscoring the opponents the last 4 games, 81-23. SMU's had 145 yards in the first quarter. They've had 116 cents.
Yeah.
Defense doing the job. Offense has to capitalize for Tulsa here.
On 2nd and 10. Screen pass. Johnson. Tackled by Callaway. 3rd down coming up. Tulsa's 8 of 13 on 3rd downs. Flag is down. Crawford bubbles to the outside. He's got a 1st down.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 1st down.
That's, I think, 3 times now SMU's been caught with that.
Yep, and Sonny Dykes is not a happy man on that sideline. A critical 3rd down. Throwing the quick screen, and SMU can't get the correct personnel on the field or get lined up. You're seeing them now running guys off and on as well.
They love to rotate on that defensive line. Not as talented up front as they were last year, but they'll still play 7-8 guys to keep that D-line fresh. Wilkerson shedding tacklers, 2nd level, still going to the 35-yard line of SMU.
Tulsa starting to dictate terms to the SMU defense. You know, you do this, we do that. You want to lighten the box, we're going to run it. You want to load the box, we're going to throw the quick screen to the perimeter. This 11 personnel has been the difference in the game in the second half.
5-man pressure, it's picked up. Wide open, Josh Johnson. 24-20.
Just on first glance, this is a bust. And of course, you've got him isolated one-on-one. That's a bust in coverage and communication. You've got an underneath defender for SMU. He's squatting and playing zone, keying the quarterback, while Johnson's running right down the seam. Purely a bust, and Zach Smith and Johnson take advantage. And here we come, Golden Hurricane.
Now this has been their formula, the second half comeback. Bad snap. And a nice recovery by the holder, Cannon Montgomery, the son of head coach Philip Montgomery.
With this wind and this game coming down to the wire, as we're seeing, every little thing counts.
Tulsa with the wind at its back in this fourth quarter. SMU ball at the 25. Kevin, we told you Zach Smith is capable of flipping the switch. The first quarter, disastrous. Turned it over a couple of times, had a lost fumble in there. Since then, he's, as you said, looked like Joe Montana. 2 tight ends into the game. Gray, he's fast. Swift as a shadow, still going. And Danny Gray flashing the wheels and the agility. A big gainer. And another first down for SMU. 29 yards for Gray.
Well, I stand corrected. On the 5-yard out into the wind, Shane Buechele delivers an accurate throw, and Danny Gray does the rest post-catch.
7 catches, 89 yards for Gray. Buechele moving the pocket. Has Granson in the flat, and he picks up a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Just the second catch for the reliable tight end.
Yeah, he had a touchdown in the first quarter, and he's really been quiet since then.
You get the sense if SMU wants to leave Tulsa with a win, that 24 is not going to cut it. They're probably going to need, I think, at least one more touchdown.
Well, and field goals aren't going to cut it. There's a lot of time left in this quarter, but they're going to have to get a touchdown to finish off this drive to really secure their opportunity.
Levine makes the catch. No, he dropped it. 3rd and 8 from the Tulsa 34 going into the wind. 4-down territory here.
Potential 4-down territory, but in the immediate, if you're Tulsa on defense, what has been the magic charm on 3rd and 7+? Rush 3, drop 8, align 5 players right there on the first down marker. And account for these 3 guys right there. That's all you're going to see in pass rush.
Mustangs just one of their last 9 on 3rd down. Well, they'll bring some pressure.
Yeah, they certainly
Collins
did.
off the edge. It's knocked down. Trayvon Reeves batted it down. It's 4th down and now a decision for Sonny Dykes.
This is a great defensive call because they were anticipating the crossing route by dropping Reeves in coverage. They put him right in front of the underneath crossing route to Rashee Rice. So really good execution defensively from that Tulsa ball club.
Going against the wind, this is almost a no-brainer. 4th and 8. Inside the 35.
Now we're probably going to get the 3-man rush. Let's see. Yep.
Dropping 8. Buechele looking. Nobody there. They'll try to run for it. Buechele tackled by Zaven Collins. Tulsa's D answers the bell again, and it's their best player, 23 in blue.
Zaven Collins in this Tulsa defense came to play in the second half. Critical 4th down. Ball back to Zach Smith and the Golden Hurricane offense.
Tulsa down 18 against UCF in the first half. Rallied to win on the road. Down 14 in the first half against ECU. Rallied to win. They got a fortunate call in that game. Tonight, down 21-0 early on. Down by 3 with the ball and a chance to lead for the first time tonight.
And they're in. Just the play selection itself wasn't what it needed to be.
So we go down to the wire with these 2 again. Smith throwing to the sideline. Josh Johnson, who's had a big night. That's his 8th catch, now over 100 yards receiving. 2 touchdowns as well for Johnson, who began his career at Iowa State. Second and 5. Wilkerson. Nothing. So now 3rd down for Tulsa.
Well, I'd like to see Tulsa in 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end on offense. And the one area of the game that we haven't seen is we haven't seen a running back screen, a screen out of the backfield. We've seen wide receiver quick screen, but it looks like they're in 10 personnel here. 1 back, 0 tight end.
Smith zings one to Stokes, and he cannot hold on.
Incomplete pass intended for number 2, Keelan Stokes.
4th down now for Tulsa.
Really good throw. Really good throw. But you also got to give some credit to Donald Clay, 21. I think he got his hand in there, his left hand. And it was a really well thrown ball. Probably should have been caught. But time to punt the ball away. You've got 3 timeouts.
Yep.
Your defense has played well. Put them on the field and trust them.
SMU late getting its personnel on. Wilson to punt. Gets it off. Page changes direction. Has the 20. Out of bounds near the 25. Ulysses Bentley now on 1st down. For SMU, the key here, if you're going to finish this off, you cannot get behind the chains. When they do, Tulsa's defense has them in shackles.
Absolutely. Completely locked down because they know exactly where to force Shane Buechele with the ball. So a good early run down there. And again, taking their time. There's plenty of time here. Just let the clock go. Still run your offense. You're not playing not to lose. The play clock's not operating correctly. It should have been running. Yeah.
We've said it a few times in the broadcast. Tulsa defensively has the type of size you just don't see at the group of 5 level. It is legit Power 5 and top-end Power 5 size. Bentley doesn't have much room. And again, SMU in the same old predicament, 3rd and long.
3rd and long, and they're taking their time here. Dare I say they've become a little conservative with some of their play selection on inside zone. Sonny Dykes is looking on and hoping this could be the 1 3rd down that gets them over the edge. Just 4 of 14 on the night on 3rd down. And granted, many of those have been 7+. All right, now you're 3rd and 6. It's a down that takes you out of the run game.
Two tight ends in the game. Buechele bootlegs, throws on the run, and it's incomplete for Gray.
But it also shows the caliber of player that they have, because oftentimes at the group of 5 level, you lose a marquee playmaker, you lose a difference maker. The next man up's not the same guy, or he's certainly a lot less experienced. So SMU has shown, I think, a wealth of depth this year, if anything.
Chris Nagar to punt it away. Keelan Stokes to receive. Downed at the 35. Good news for Tulsa. Tyler Smith back in at left tackle. Zach Smith to throw. Incomplete for Josh Johnson. Might have been tipped. There's Tyler Smith. SMU's defense now, the last couple of times out, has answered the bell. Rushing 3. First down catch, Keelan Stokes, 7 catches now. He's north of 90 yards receiving.
It's a terrific job by Stokes of not only coming back to the football, but then immediately getting upfield to get the line to gain.
Tulsa's got all 3 timeouts. Going right back to Stokes, across the 30, deep in SMU territory, inside the 25.
Listen, go with the guy that you can trust. You got one-on-one underneath. Zach Smith getting the ball out of his hand quickly. Stokes has been able to separate.
6th career 100-yard game for Stokes. TK Wilkerson up the middle, charging ahead. Another first down for Tulsa.
That's 6'2", 230 pounds coming downhill on you in a hurry.
1st and goal inside the 10. Wilkerson once again.
Hand off to number 21, TK Wilkerson.
One of the big plays in this second half, SMU coming up with a goal line stand.
It's been the difference in the ball game to this point. You see the scores versus the possessions in the red zone for Tulsa has not been what Philip Montgomery needs it to be to play winning football. But you've got an opportunity here where you are controlling the line of scrimmage, number 1, and you've got options in the passing game to the top of the field.
Don't give it to Wilkerson again. Takes it inside the 5. It's 3rd and goal. Less than 3 minutes to go in regulation. These two played into triple overtime last year. SMU rallied from 21 down in the 4th quarter to win that game. Tulsa trailed 21-0 in the first half of this game.
Got a couple of platoons coming on the field for both Tulsa and SMU, getting the right personnel. Back to 11 personnel here.
Smith to throw. He's got Palmer, who reaches across. James Palmer, his first career touchdown, and he puts Tulsa ahead. Just his 2nd catch of the season.
Love, again, back to 11 personnel. It's been your go-to run formation, run personnel grouping. What do? Token fake, you move the pocket, but well executed and well designed play, and this extra point is critical, Anish.
Huge PAT by Zach Long. And SMU will now need a touchdown down to in.
The wind is still blistering down here, Anish, so Shane Buechele will be going into this massive it's not even a breeze. I mean, it is blistering, and then he'll do it without one of his best wide receivers in Danny Gray. That left shoulder, he couldn't unbuckle his chin strap with his left arm. He had to go with his right arm to try and unbuckle it. It's just dangling there on the bench, and he's sitting on the bench right now. He looks like he is done for the night. So it's going to be without Danny Gray for Shane Buechele and SMU to come back into the wind to try and win this football game.
If SMU is going to get a big play downfield, it may be an Austin Upshaw or a Calvin Wiggins, somebody coming out of the woodwork the way Rashee Rice did a year ago in this game.
Well, and it could very well be Rice, or it could be Kylan Granson down one of the seams. They've missed him a few times, and he's been open.
One timeout remaining, 2:11 to go. Dropped by Granson.
See the comparison of QBs right there. Zach Smith having a wonderful second half, per usual from him.
Buechele, incomplete. A flag down. That was in the direction of Rice. He was covered by Ali Green.
There is no foul from defensive pass interference. The pass was uncatchable. Third down.
Well, here's the wicked down and distance that you've got to avoid, and it has been a continual trend. Look at the third down conversion rate tonight for Shane Buechele. 3rd and 10 on a routine basis is not a successful game plan.
On the season, SMU came in 51% on 3rd down. Tonight, 4 out of 15. And 2 for their last 13. Tyler Page. He's going to be a little short. 4-down territory. Let's see how far they have to go.
Tulsa's got to get lined up quickly. Get lined up, Tulsa. SMU's going to come after you. They're going to snap the ball as soon as they can.
4th and 1. College football in 2020. Levine able to surge ahead, and he'll move the chains. That'll momentarily stop the clock. 1:39 to go. SMU still with a timeout in its back pocket.
Good use of personnel there by Sonny Dykes and Garrett Riley by putting their battering ram in on the short yardage situation.
Buechele intercepted. Zaven Collins seals it for Tulsa.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 75 of Tulsa, 15-yard penalty. It's still first down. That is number 75's first unsportsmanlike in the game.
Listen, you can't legislate emotion in sports. I get it.
Sure.
Zaven Collins, you mentioned this kid is a potential first-round pick, and he does it all. He can sack the quarterback, TFLs.
He's 15 yards downfield right
He
there.
can cover. That's his 3rd interception of the season.
6'4", 260. He looks like he's 240. He runs like he's 230. And this is the mode of operation. This is Tulsa football 2020. Half the games that SMU has played, all right? Probably half the reps, because you've had to shut down your building. You haven't been able to get on the practice field.
Wilkerson picking up a couple.
And up goes to number 21, T.J. Wilkerson.
You look at Tulsa's remaining schedule. Short turnaround, which they probably will embrace, playing on Thursday against Tulane. Then Houston the following weekend, then Cincinnati. They have a chance to get into a rhythm and play games in consecutive weeks before that game against Cincinnati. And right now, even if they lose to Cincinnati with the tiebreaker against SMU, if they win the other 2 games, they will play in the American Conference Championship. But we may be even talking about Tulsa potentially, the way they can finish the season, as a group of 5 New Year's 16. That's going to seal it. Wilkerson picking up the first down. This was vintage Tulsa in 2020. They don't play a whole lot, just their 5th game. They were down against UCF, came back. Down against ECU, came back.
Yep.
Down 21 against SMU. They came back.
I think Philip Montgomery's going to petition the American to see if all of their games can start with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter.
That's right.
I mean, it's unbelievable to watch how this team has progressed. And, you know, we asked Philip Montgomery about that. What do you attribute that to? And he said, to be honest with you, everything we do is so out of rhythm and so disjointed that it's probably why we're out of rhythm and disjointed when we start every game.
After getting their hearts broken by SMU a season ago in triple overtime, Tulsa gets revenge tonight. And the Golden Hurricane now 4-0 in the American Conference. As Cincinnati, by all national perspective, the standard bearer right now in the group of 5.
Sure.
Don't sleep on Tulsa.
Can't sleep on Tulsa. They're going to continue to get better. You see the interception to seal the game from Zaven Collins. Again, I think this guy is going to work himself into the first round before it's all said and done. You just don't have 6'4", 260-pound, versatile Swiss Army knives like that growing on trees. He's got a chance to be special, and this Tulsa team's only going to get better.
Zach Smith shook off a poor start. He finished with 3 touchdown passes, 325 yards through the air. The seldom used tight end James Palmer comes up with the game-winning touchdown. Tulsa wins a thriller. They're 4-0 in conference.